£1,200 or $1,500 in passive dividend income in just 1 month. That's a really nice chunk of cash and a milestone that I hit last August. So in this video, we're going to have a look at the stocks I owned that paid me £1,200 in that 1 month. Stick around to the end and we'll have a look at how much those companies paid me for the whole year and how much I expect them to pay me for this year and what that increase is likely to look like. I've been invested in stocks and shares now for over 15 years and made lots and lots of mistakes. Didn't start off with dividend investing. I bought penny stocks and chased the next hot stocks and sold and bought and sold and messed around like that at the beginning and lost a lot of money. But I discovered my love of dividend stocks and pretty much that's what I focus on now. When you get paid that passive income every single month, that just gets reinvested simply and easily back into the stocks that paid them, thus buying you more stock and in following years giving you more dividends pretty much for free. It's pretty addictive. And by using this method, I've managed to grow my portfolios to well over £350,000 or $426,000. And if I can do it with all the mistakes I made, so can you. Welcome to Destination Wealth. Let's get into it. So why dividend stocks? Well, I just love the fact that every month, every year, that money drops into your account and helps you invest and helps that dividend snowball and your investments just grow and grow and grow. Compound investing is incredible when you look into it. And there's plenty of compound investing calculators online where you can plug in your numbers, plug in your compound interest rate that you're gaining. And that's why it's such a good idea to track your investments right from the beginning, no matter how small they are. Track them on a spreadsheet, which is what I do. So once you've been doing it for 5-10 years, you can work out what your compound interest rate is year on year, excluding your contributions, not excluding those dividend contributions, but excluding the contributions that you're putting in from your salary, from your bank account, to see what your true increase is in your investments. And you can work out an average and project that forward. If that average carries on, if you've done it over a 10-year period, your average gives you a good idea of how successful you are. You can project that further another 10 years and just see where you're likely to be at. It took me a long time to get into dividend stocks. As I said, I messed around with penny stocks and things like that for quite a while. Even looked at Forex and it just wasn't worth it. I just lost more money than I made. But it wasn't until I started reading books like One Up on Wall Street by Peter Lynch, following how Warren Buffett invests, The Naked Trader, and Richard Templer's Rules of Wealth book. It just made me realize that dividend stocks is what really interested me, but I just like doing the research on the stocks and trawling through company reports and things like that and hoping to hit that next 10 bagger, as they like to call it. So, if you're not interested in that, you don't have the time to do it, stick to dividend paying ETFs, invest in the indexes, maybe funds, that sort of thing. You still need to do a bit of research, but less research than if you invested in dividend stocks. If you are interested in investing in individual stocks, you need to do lots of research, and I'll be creating future videos showing exactly how I do that, the metrics I look at, what you need to look out for. I'm no expert. This is not investment advice. It's just how I grew my own personal portfolio. I tend to invest in stocks spread across multiple sectors. I think I've got about 23 stocks now, different sectors, different industries, different countries. They range from small cap stocks like Cornish Metals, which don't actually pay a dividend yet, but I'm hoping they will do in the future once they start making money, right up to huge companies like Shell and many in between like Greggs, Games Workshop, B&M, Ashtead, Diploma, Associated British Foods, and all companies like that. I always reinvest the dividends automatically. Through my SIPP and my ISA, they have what's called a drip plan. And what that does is when the company pays me those dividends, the investment platform automatically buys more shares of that same company, usually about a week after. And it's very cheap, as you can see from this example here. You pay very small fees by doing that. Now, by doing this, reinvesting those dividends, over that 10-15 year period, I've managed to increase my dividend income by an average of 22%. And the first year I started receiving dividends was back in 2012. For that whole year, I received a paltry £135. Roll on 12 years later, and my dividends for the year exceeded £6,000. So I'm averaging £500 a month in passive income, reinvested back into those stocks. Getting £6,000 a year for doing pretty much nothing is incredibly addictive. It just makes you want to reinvest more and put more of your money in. So that just grows and grows and grows. It's like having an extra salary coming in. Today, we're going to have a look at my SIPP and my stocks and shares ISA, mainly my SIPP. The month that I hit £1,200, which was back in August 2024. Before we go any further, I just want to say this is not investment advice. It's just my own personal story. It's how I do it. I like to invest in individual stocks. I'm no expert. I make lots of mistakes. Still done pretty well over time. If it's something you want to get into, by all means, seek out a financial advisor. Don't just follow me blindly what I do. It's just for entertainment purposes only. If you don't want to put in the research into individual stocks and investing in those individual stocks, just stick to the indexes, the S&P 500, the FTSE 100, maybe buy ETFs, dividend growth ETFs, dividend aristocrats, maybe funds, that sort of thing. But if you're unsure, seek out professional advice. First time I crossed £1,000 in dividends in 1 month was back in February 2023. And since then, the number of months that's crossed that threshold has just grown and grown. And my next milestone I have planned out is to reach an average of £1,000 every single month in a year. £12,000 in passive dividend income for the whole entire year. All reinvested. The £1,200 that I received back in August 2024 actually only came from 4 stocks. Those stocks were Apple. Now, I don't need to introduce you to Apple. We all know Apple are. Huge company, and one of the only 2 US companies that I own, the other being Disney, which didn't actually pay me a dividend that month. The second stock was Lion Trust Asset Management. And now they are an investment company. They've had a tough time over the last couple of years, but they still maintain the dividend, and that was the biggest dividend that I had that month from any one company. The next was B&M Discount Store. And the fourth was Discover IE, which is a specialist engineering manufacturing company. For August, Apple paid me £60.34. Lion Trust paid me £935. B&M paid me £135.46. And Discover IE paid me £73.76. Just that month. So that was a total of £1,204.56. Out of those 4 stocks, they paid me more dividends that were reinvested back into those stocks than I actually invest of my own money each month. I pay in about £1,100 a month into spread between the SIPP and the ISA. It varies each month, but it's somewhere around that figure. That was one of the first months that the income I received from doing nothing outweighed what I actually put in myself, which is a huge milestone. What did those 4 companies pay me for that whole year? Just 4 companies, bear in mind, out of the 23 that I have in the portfolios. Those 4 companies alone, Apple paid me £243, Lion Trust £1,342, B&M £497, Discover IE £107. There's a couple of pence on each of those, so I've just rounded it down. Total figure that all 4 of those companies paid me was £2,189 for the whole year, just out of 4 companies. Again, all fully reinvested, so that's basically like me putting in £2,000 to invest in companies, but someone else has put that money in for me. I've not put it in. It's not coming out of my pocket. It's just been reinvested to buy more and more of those stocks, which means the following year, that will just grow. It'll be higher and higher. And to give you an example, this is what all being well, those 4 companies I would expect in 2025 for them to pay me for the whole of this financial year. Not financial year, for the whole of this calendar year. So we're looking at Apple at £256, Lion Trust £1,526, B&M £1,500, Discover £109. So for the whole of 2025, as long as they continue with their dividends, and this may be more because some companies like B&M, for example, Games Workshop's a good example as well, pay special dividends every now and again. Now, special dividend is when they've had an exceptionally good quarter, good half a year, good full year, that they give more money back to the shareholders. These are awesome. You don't really know when it's going to come, and they generally announce it at the end of their financial year or on a trading update, something like that. B&M do it, Greg's sometimes do it, and Games Workshop always do it. So B&M is likely they may well send out a special dividend, so it could be more than that. Total figure, which I think is a minimum total figure that I'd expect for all these 4 companies to pay me in 2025, is £3,391, which will just get reinvested back in. So you can see the growth from 2023 to 2024 of those dividends is massive, just on 4 companies. Now, I own 23 companies. Not all of those pay dividends, 90% of them do. It's slightly skewed, I'll admit, because the B&M increase is because I've bought quite a few more shares. So for this year, this is the number of shares I hold and the amount I have invested in each of these companies. So as you can see, that's why I love dividend paying companies. And I just keep reinvesting them, and it's getting bigger and bigger. And it'd be great to get to that point where, the dividends that I get paid throughout that whole year cover all my expenses. That's when you become financially free. It may even get to the point where those dividends outweigh my salary, which makes working optional, which is a fantastic milestone to aim for. If you're interested in what I got paid in full year of dividends across all my accounts and what my portfolio was at the end of the year, check out this video where I go back to 2023 and we look at every company that paid me, how much it grew, and how much my portfolio has grown over a 13-year period from when I started. Check it out here.